Hey everyone, this is Prince from Desi Programmer. Welcome back to yet another exciting video. And in these videos, we are going to build a social media application which has features such as login, sign up, following a user, rendering timeline based on whom you follow and unfollow, messaging each other, that is basically a chat application, but we are going to extend its functionalities to voice call, video call, and we are also going to add live streaming to that. All this is going to be possible because of ZEGOCLOUD, which is a platform that gives us SDKs and APIs for building our application with voice call, video calls, live streaming, and so much more in a very easier way. The reason why I love this product is because while it gives you a lot of options to build video call application, voice call application, live streaming, there is AI effect, virtual avatar, in-app chat, cloud recording, and an analytics dashboard, which is going to be very useful when you are building an application for telecommunication, medical, or education. What's most interesting here is that you also get UI kits using which you can build your application with a very beautiful UI in no time. All that will be powered by ZEGOCLOUD and their high performing solutions with no lag in video call, voice call, or live streaming whatsoever. Now in this series, I am focusing on learning in levels. At the very base, we are going to explore the very basic functionalities of Firebase like CRUD operation with Cloud Firestore and simple login sign up and handling our application for a signed up user and a user which has not signed up. We are also going to look at things like how to render timeline for people who have followed you or people who have not followed you, and how to handle different type of media in chat applications. And at the next level, we are going to extend these functionalities using a third-party client, which is ZEGOCLOUD, to add very interesting features such as live streaming, voice call, video call in record time. So to get started, I already have a Firebase project up and running here, and I use this for a lot of purposes like experimenting and testing. And here I'm going to add another application. But before we do that, we also need an application. So I will head over to terminal, and there we'll go to D directory. There I have another folder called as tutorials. Here I want to create a project and I will name this Flutter and social media app. So social media Zego. And we also need a create command here. So Flutter create social media Zego, and this will create a project for us. Now the project that will be created will have an ID that we need. So I have to go to this project, open this in command, open this in our Visual Studio Code, and here in Android app source main. And this file, you can see that this is the package name that we need. I'll copy this. I'll go back here. We'll click on add app. We'll select the Android application and we will paste our Android app name. I'll name this as ZEGOCLOUD social app or something like that. And right now I'm going to skip this part. We'll click on register app. After a few seconds, it will be registered and you can click to download this google-services.json file. Remember, this is an important step. Once it's done, click on next and you get this option to add SDK. So let's get started. The first thing is to go to our project level build.gradle file. And this file exists. Again, let me show you. As soon as you open Android folder, there will be a build.gradle file. This is what we call as a project level build.gradle file. And the first task is to check if you have these two added in the repository section of the build script. You go back and you see that we have these two added already. Now in the dependencies, we have to add this line. So I'll copy this. In the dependencies, we will paste it. Once done, we also have to go to all projects and check if this is added or not. As you can see, this is already available, so we don't have to do anything else. We'll save this. We'll go back, and now here, as you can see, we have to go to our app level build.gradle file. Again, close everything. Go to your Android. There you will have a folder named as app. In that folder, you will have a build.gradle file. This is our app level build.gradle file. Now here, first thing you will see is that you have to add this, which is com.google.services. And if you go here, as you can see, this is the place where we do that. Now here, you can see that we have this option that says add the Google Services Gradle plugin, which is ID. But interestingly, this is not the option that is present here, right? We don't have this plugin map available. What we have to initially do is that we have to say apply and then we add this, and then we will remove this to say apply, and then this is going to be, this has to be like this line. Okay, so we will have apply plugin colon, and then we will have this com.google.gms.google-services, and if you remember, this is what we added in this build.gradle file. Anyway, once this is done, save this, go back here again, and then we have to add this line. I'll copy this, go back to dependencies, and here we have to add this and save this. But wait, we are still not done with the entire configuration. We still have to move forward and grab that file that we just downloaded, and we have to paste that file here in our app folder in the Android. So let's do that. Now this is my project, so I'll open this. I'll go to Android, I'll go to app. This is where we have to paste the file. I have copied it, so I will paste, and now this is the file that we have. I will close this, and as you can see here also we have the file present. Once this is done, I'll go to prospect.yaml, and you can see there is a lot of data here. In the dependencies, we have to add all the dependencies that we need to work with Firebase. So the first thing that I need is Firebase core, and I have a package installed, I think that's called as pub assist. So you can just download that, and what happens here is that now as soon as I type something like Firebase underscore core, you see I get the option to add it. Then I'm going to add Firebase underscore auth, and I'm also going to get the option to add it. I think these are the two that I need right now, so I'll save this. I'll go back here, and then in my lib folder I'll go to main.dot. This is the file that I have. I'll go to name this as, let's say, social app, and we'll save this. Finally, I'll remove this too. I'll make this let's make it indigo, and we'll save this. There we have this my home page. I think I should first get started by running the application. As you can see, I have the emulator up and running, so I'll simply run my application here. In the meantime, you can click on next, and here it says you're all set, so you can continue to console. And our app is added. Let's go head over to authentication to see if we can actually log in a user or not. Now the app build may take some time, but if you have set up everything correctly, this will be done. But that's not it. We just have our application up and running. We may have added all the Firebase dependencies. We may also have added the Google Services JSON file, but we still have not configured our project to work with Firebase. To do that, first I'm going to go to this main, and here we have something called as Firebase.initialize app. Don't have to do anything here. It will just take the default configuration and it should be done. But there are still things here. So what people say is that they ask you to do something like widgets Flutter. So you have to do something like widgets Flutter binding dot should initialize, and now this can be an async, and only when this is done then we initialize our application. And now finally we have this. So this is kind of a better way to initialize your application. Once this is done, now it means that our Firebase stuff is up and running. But we still have to code something, right? So I'm going to start by coding a simple sign up page and a login page. I wanted to use the pre-built UI packages, but let's do it on our own, right? So in the lib, you're going to have a views folder, and in the views folder, I'm going to have a auth.dart file. I think should we just use tab bar or 2 pages? Let's go with 2 pages. So we'll go have a signup.dart file. Now here we can do a stateful visit. This is going to be sign up. We'll save this. We are going to return a scaffold, an app bar with a title that says this is a simple text. Now text is simply going to say create. Let's sign up. That's it. Nothing much. We'll save this. We'll go back to main.dart. I just don't want this entire code here, so I'll remove this my home page, and then here we are simply going to call our sign up page. Just bear with me because right now I'm just focusing on building the user interface part. With this done, I'll go back to my prospect.yaml file because I need to add a few more things. First thing that I want to add is Google Fonts because I want this to have a good look. Next thing that I want to add is form and validator. Okay, so these are the 2 things that I need. And remember, every time you add a new dependency, it's good practice to restart your application because sometimes it may not be present. So we are going to close this. But before I restart, I'm going to write some more code. So in the body, I'm going to have a list view, and in the children, I'm going to have 2 stuff, which is going to be text form field. All right. So we have 2 text form fields and an elevated button. On pressed is null right now, obviously, but we are also going to have text which says sign up. Once this is done, I'll just need to configure my Google font. So I'll go to main.dart, and in the theme data, I want to say that the font family is going to come from Google Fonts dot whatever font that you want to pick. I'm going to go with the IBM Plex Sans, and then dot font family. We need the font family name. I'm going to save this. I'm going to mark this as const. Although it's not necessary right now, we are going to do a lot of changes here. But let's run the application and let's see what do we have as of now. Now that our application is up and running, you can see that this is what we have. We have 2 fields. We have a simple button. everything that we wanted. Now let's head over to signup.dot and we have to add few things. First thing is that I want a padding here, which is going to be agentsx.all and a value of, let's say, 12.0. Let's save this. I also have to wrap this list view with a visit. Why? Because I want a form visit here so that I can do some kind of, validation. I'm going to have something called as a global key, which is going to be of the type form state, and I'm going to name this as key, and there is my key. So yep, this is what I have, form state, and this is going to be key for my form, something that we use for validation. Finally, here I'm going to wrap this with a sized box. Why? Because I want this to have some height. So this is going to be a height of 40.0, nice looking height, and then I need two sized box here too to give some spacing. So sized box with a height of 12.0. Save this, and this is how it looks. Pretty decent right now. Okay. For both the text form fields, I'm going to do decoration, which is going to be input decoration, and here there's going to be border, which is going to be outlined input border. Okay, so now we have border, and don't worry if you think this is fast, this is actually not very fast. I'm just using simple VS Code hacks to just do everything fast. Anyway, after the border we have things like label, and label text, and I will name this as email, and let's save this. This will be password, not email, and there we have email and password field and a sign up button. I'm pretty satisfied. I don't need anything more, but I do need some kind of validation. So here we are going to have validator. What I need here, I need two validations. So we have something called as a multi-validator. I hope it works here. Let me first look for required validator. Alright, it's not working. Maybe I just got the wrong or what. Okay, so the thing is that I actually imported the wrong library, but it's okay. I've used it also. You just have to look at the documentation, which is pretty easy. So to validate an email, this is what I need. I'm just going to simply copy this. Come on. I just need this one single line. Okay, let me copy this. Let's head over to VS Code, and here I'm just going to paste it. So this is what I need, not this decoration, which means I don't even need this, and this is what I need. So this is our simple validation. Then I'm going to copy this again. In my password, I'm going to paste it. But the thing is, I don't need this to be email. I'm just saying that the max length has to be 15, and the min length has to be 6. That's it. Save it. This both need to be const. I just want to get rid of this irritating blue line, and once done, now I just have to ensure that once clicked, I can validate the form. To do that, there is a simple hack. We do something called as if key dot current state, and if this is not null, then validate it. Remember. But if this is null, then I'm going to just assume that this is false, which means the form is not validated. And now if I save this and if I click on this sign up, you can see that we are having some kind of validation here. Pretty smooth, right? But I also need to grab the values out of this field, which I have not done yet. To do that, we need two variables. I'm going to have my first variable, which is going to be a string email, and since we have null safety, question mark, and the same goes for string password. And I also want a username. All right, I want a username to just add for user. So we have a string username, and here is where I'm going to leave a to do for you guys. And the to do is that ensure that the username is unique before registration. So before registering. So this is what I want you to do later, not right now. So what you have to do is that when someone when someone wants to sign up, you have to ensure that the username is unique and does not exist. I'm not going to care about that right now. I'm just going to skip the part so that you can do this as a task or something to experiment on your own. After adding this weird const to get rid of this weird blue lines, now I'm going to head over here. And finally, the last thing that I need is to actually register myself, right? I'm just going to write some bland code here. I just want to show you that if when I do put some data, that is going to be reflected here. So all that I have to do is first ensure that we grab the values out of them. So let me just copy this again, paste it. This is going to be username. All right, and also I don't need this email here, and the max length is going to be, let's say, some 10. I don't care. I just need some data. Okay. First thing is that on changed. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not using text controller, I'm just happy with on changed. That's why. So here I'm going to grab username. This is going to be equal to this particular value. Come on. And the same is going to, happen on all the other fields. So let me just copy this. Here also I paste this, and this is going to be email. And then finally, come on. And then here it's going to be password. So let me paste it. And there it is. We are done. So now if it is validated, if value is present, and if somebody clicks on this, you will grab the values. So I'm going to simply print just to show you that we have the values. So we are going to print email. Let's just take email out of it. Click on sign up. We have so many issues here. I'm just going to grab some data. Click on enter again. This is not a valid email address. Come on, I get it. So just let's add at gmail.com. Click on proceed, and now we have the data. So only if all the fields are validated, we are allowed to proceed, something that we really want, right? So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say Firebase auth, Firebase auth.instance. Okay, we have auth, right? Okay, so we have to do something like sign up with email password. So I'm just a little confused with the actual function name, but that is create user with email and password. The email is going to be, whatever email that we provide, and the password is going to be whatever password that's been filled here. But you can see that there is an error. It says that, hey, this is a type of null and it can't be assigned. So the thing is, this is a nullable value here. Now this is where things get little interesting. Should we check whether it's not null or not? Because you see, our first contradiction is that we are only going to proceed when this form is validated. If this form is validated, all these values are not going to be null, which means I can simply add this, right? But it's always better to add a try catch, and we will do that. We will add a try catch because we also need that try catch with Firebase auth. But let's simply save this. Let's create a profile. Whatever it is, password is this and that, everything is fine. I'm just simply going to click on sign up, and let's see if we have an issue or not. We don't have an issue. As you can see, it says notify ID token listeners about user. So we have this user. Let's head back to our Firebase console, refresh, and you can see we have a user. This is the identifier, and this is this is a user ID, the provider is email, and this is the email ID here. So yep, our the thing that we wanted to do is successful. We have added a user. Interesting, right? So once this is done, and as you can see here is also, it says that this will return user credential, which means user detail. And here as you can see, there are so many auth exceptions that are thrown. So if the email is already in use, which means user is present, operation not allowed, weak password, so many things. I'll show you. Let's save this, click on sign up again, and now we are going to get this error, right? Very bad error. So we have to handle that. How do we do that? We do that using try catch. So I'm saying try, and we are going to have catch. In the try, I'm saying just create an account. In the catch, I'm simply going to first print one thing, that is E. All right. Again, let's take a notice. What happens when I click on sign up? Sorry. Let me first get rid of these errors first, and come on. Now here, as you can see that we have this error that says unhandled exception, email already in use. I'll close this. I'll close this too. I will save this. So, everything is now up and running. Let's clear the console. Let's click on sign up again. And obviously we get all these errors without any doubt. But here, as you can see, it says that, this is the error that we have to look for. So this is a Firebase auth exception. It says email is already in use. Now to handle this, what we have to do is that we have to dig in the documentation a little bit. So just head over to your favorite search engine and type Flutter Fire. And here, when you go there, you have to just, come on, let's get started. Then we have authentication, and we have password auth, probably. Okay. So this is how you have to catch an issue, right? As you can see, this is the code, right? Await Firebase auth instance, create user with email and password. This is the data. And on Firebase auth exception, we are going to catch this error. And this is how we are going to handle it, right? So yep, just we have to simply copy these lines here, and we have to simply paste it. Where? We have to paste it here. So on Firebase auth exception, we are going to catch this error. And then finally, here we are going to catch our errors, other errors, and they will be printed. So when there is a Firebase auth exception, this is how we can check, and we can say that these are the issues. Now let's click on sign up again, and you can see come on, let's see in the console what's going to happen here. Okay, you can see in the console it says that okay, where's the issue? Let me actually restart the entire application. So this is all correct. The only reason why we are getting an error is because this needs an await. It's an asynchronous operation, so we have to add an await here, and we have to add an async here. So come on. Now if you run this, you are going to see that we have this issue that says the account already exists for that email. So basically, when account exists, you can just show your dialog or whatever you want here, and your sign up process will be completed. Now, once this is done, what we want to do is that we want to send our users to a home page, right? We don't want to keep them here. So let's do that. In the views, I'm going to first create a home folder, and we will name that as home dot. There is going to be nothing here right now, at least. So we are going to call this as home page. Save this. This will simply have a scaffold with an app bar, and that app bar will just simply say, let's say, title, which is going to be text, and this will simply be home page. That's it. Just an indicator that yes, we are on an home page. That's pretty much it. So we'll save this and done. Similarly, in the signup.dot, I'm going to copy everything, and in the views, I'm simply going to let's actually create a folder called as auth. Let's move sign up to auth there. And the reason why I want to do that is because I have to save this. I also need a login here. So we need a login.dart file. Let's paste everything here. And this is something that you must always do. It's very fast. So I'm just going to replace everything with sign up to login page or something like that. Then I'm going to remove this and save this. I don't need username field here. So I'm just going to grab this out of here completely. Save this here, and this is what we get. Now the thing is that I don't want to print an email. Also, I don't want to create a user here. Okay, what I want to do is that sign in with email and password. Hit enter. This is going to be same. But here, as you can see, now they're going to be different error code. So if it is an invalid email, that means the user does not exist. If the user is disabled, which means someone has disabled the user. Sorry, user not found means there is no user with the corresponding email. Invalid email means the email address is not valid. And then we have wrong password, which means the password is wrong. This is something that you should be interested in checking. Actually, you should be interested in checking all of them. Right now, I'm just interested in checking this. So I'm simply going to say that password is wrong. Okay, as you can see, what I'm interested in doing is simply just getting rid of the entire login logout part. I'm not interested in giving you all those things like so a dialog box here and everything. That's something that you can do on your own, right? I'm simply going to save this, but the next step that I want to do is that, as you can I have to do something like when the user logs in, I have to move forward to do something as such. So first, this has to be login page. Let's save this. First, let's go to main.dart file, and here what I want to say is that if the Firebase auth current instance and the current user is null, so if the user is null, that's when we want to go to the login page. If the user is not null, just take me to home page, right? Pretty standard stuff. You want to check if the user is logged in or not. Only if the user is not logged in, then you want to push them to the login page. So right now we have a user logged in, which is why we simply go to the home page. And this is something that people already confused with. When you are continuously developing and your sign up is successful, your user is already logged in. So you may have issues with that. What I want to do is that go to home page, and then here in my body, right now, let's not even say body. We need a drawer, which is going to be a drawer, and here we are going to have child, which is going to be a list view, right? In the children, I'm going to simply have a list tile, and the list tiles title is going to be text that simply says sign out. So yep, sign out. All right, let's save this. The reason why I want this is so that I can actually sign out from the application. Then we can check our login part. So this has to be const, and here on tab, I'm not going to create a very fancy button out of it. I'm just simply saying on tab Firebase auth.instance.sign out. Simple. But I need an async here. Okay, and there I'm saying once the user has been signed out, use navigator of context, and then I'm going to say push and remove until, and I want to remove until home page. Like I'm just going to reset all the routes. So we're going to have something called as a material page route, and then the builder is going to be take a context, and we are going to return what we're going to return. We are going to return login page. So if you're logged down, remove all the pages and set the user to login page. So let's save this. We are going to simply add a const here, then a comma, and another const here, and I think that we are good to go. So let's save this. let's go here, click on the sign out button, and it says, notifying auth state listener about a sign out event, and now the user has signed out. Now let's head over to login.dot page, and here, we should be able to log in with the user that we just created. But once this is done, what I also need is to move to home page. So that's where we are going to use navigator.of-context.push replacement. Replacement, why? Because we want to move to the next route. Also, we don't want to keep this login route in the stack. We want to remove it. Now the user has logged in. New route is going to be again material page route. We have the builder, and what we're going to return here is our home page, right? So let's just copy this. Let's do a const here and save it. Now you'll see an error that says, don't use build context in a sync gap. So what basically happens is that you are seeing that first do this, try to do this, and then move to next page, right? That's okay. But what if there is some issue? What if this process itself takes 10 seconds and you decide, okay, I don't want to do that. You click on back, you go to other page. And then after 10 seconds, when this process actually completes, this is going to say, all right, let me push to next page. But now you're on a different context. So when this runs, there's going to be an issue. So what we do is that we check if this is still mounted. Only if this page is still mounted, then I want to do this. Otherwise, I'm not interested in moving to next page. Rare, but it's, it's better to handle this. And that's why, you may have a loader. You don't want to show a dismissible dialog or something like that, so that you just don't go to other pages. Anyway, okay, I also should change the button text to login. Click on login, nothing happens. Obviously, I need all the email and password, which I just forgot. So it's ASDAS, I have to remember that. ASDAS@gmail.com, and I'm pretty sure I forgot the password too. Let's click on login, and it says, yep, the password is wrong. No problem, I'll go here and I'm going to say delete account, because the next time I create an account, I want to remember the password. And with that, I also want to do something, which is to give here a link to move to the next page. So come on, this is there. Now I need an inkwell. Why an inkwell? Because this gives me an option for on tap. Okay, sorry. Come on, close this. Yeah, don't save. Save this. Okay, so I can't just have an inkwell. First, I need to give it an on tap. Then there is going to be child, which is going to be text, which says, create an account. All right, let's save this and come on, just restart the application. And now we are going to have a create an account kind of thingy here. All right, so create an account. Click on this and it should take you to next page. So what we're going to do is that we are going to copy this code here. We're going to paste it here, and I don't need push replacement. I just need push. I have to go to the next page, and that page is going to be sign up. So let's save it. Let's click on this, and now we are at the sign up page. So my username is going to be Prince. My email is going to be prince@gmail.com, which is, by the way, not my original email. So, and my password is going to be password. I'm pretty sure this may give me an error. Okay, no error. So now I am successfully signed up. Now, if I refresh here, take a look at this interesting thing. As soon as I refresh, you see I go to home page. Do you know what that means? It means that when you sign up, you are also logged in. So even in the sign up page, I have to copy this and paste it here, because if this process is successful, then I will be logged in. So I should just, go to home page. But I will sign out and I'll go to login page again, and I will, type my email and password. So prince@gmail.com, and my password is going to be password. Click on login. And when this process is successful, now here I am at my home page. Also, interestingly, I want to show you a few things. Like, for example, when you sign out, all the pages are cleared. What this means is that when you click on back button, you will exit the application. Sometimes people make that mistake. So what happens is that even after you have signed out, when you click on the back button, you go back to the home page with, whatever data that has been cached, which is not a good thing. So yep, this is how this is going to work. So in simple terms, what we have done is that here we have set up our application with Firebase, and we have added a very basic login and sign up thingy here, using which you can create an account and you can log in with that account. What we're going to do is now we are going to take a look at adding posts. But that's pretty much it from my side in this video. We're going to do that in the next video. And remember, if you want to build an application that has video call, voice call, or anything as such, I know it's very interesting to do all these things on our own. I wanted to do that and I have done that. But at the end, I realized that using such pre-built solution is really great, and ZEGOCLOUD is a great solution where you can build those video calls, voice call, multi-user voice calls, group chats, application and stuff in a very easy manner, especially if you have to do that in a product, for example, telecommunication, medicine, education, anything as such. You want analytics, you want to ensure that this call actually happened. You don't want anyone to come and say that, hey, this doesn't happen, I did not join the call, or like there was a lot of drop. So this is going to help you a lot in finding that data, and I'm going to discuss about this in detail. But for that, keep coding, keep loving, keep sharing, and keep watching Desi Programmer.